Turns me your slave. Earthlings, how's everybody doing out there today? It is the Friday edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown. Of course, this is the safe space where we set oppression ablaze because we understand that oppression has had a good run. Oppression has had a hell of a run out here, gang. Oppression has had a fucking phenomenal ass run. And you know what? It's time to end that shit yesterday. Because you know what? We as humans, we as people, oh shit, we just deserve better. Sorry, my big goofy face popped up on the screen and started talking to me. I was like, what the fuck is that? It's just time. It's past time. It is past time. But anyway, I'm so excited that you all are joining us here today. We be getting off to a little bit of a slow start here. I don't know why that is, but that's okay. Everybody trickle in. Come on. We are still social distancing and social distancing and requiring indoor masking here at Burn It Down with Karen Brown. I don't know about all you little friends out there in the streets walking through Walmart, maskless as shit, as JG would tell us, raw dog in the air and shit. But no, we take COVID seriously over here. We are sympathetic, empathetic, and considerate of our immunocompromised friends, of our chronically ill friends, of our disabled friends. It's important to fucking mask because this shit ain't about you. It's about everybody else in the community. So please mask up, big things. Anyway, thank you all so much for coming through. What's going on, Shirley? I see Wendy, Franny Francais is here. Northern Witch, hi D. Hey, how you doing? Chewy Craft, Holly Horn. Oh, what's up? What's up, Crip Hop Nation? What's going on? Thank you so much for stopping by, Crip Hop Nation. Please email me, burn it down with KB at Gmail, because I saw your piece about Black August in Oakland. And because my life has been just a bit in disarray over these past couple of weeks, I have been remiss in reaching out to you, Crip Hop Nation. So please shoot me an email, man. I want to see about talking to you about the piece that you wrote regarding Black August commemorations and the way that Black August is observed in Oaktown and in the Bay Area. I appreciate you coming through, man. What's up, Comrade Kwame? Where the fuck you been? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say it like that. I didn't mean to say it like that, Kwame. My bad. That's just how it slipped out. My bad. Everybody, come on in. I'm so excited to see y'all. What's up, Dawn? Afraid not. Imani's in the building. I'm happy to see y'all. Come on in. Come on in. So do me a favor, guys. Who is that? John Kemper. Thank you, John. Alicia, my niece, is in here. I'm very excited to see everybody. So anyway, Alice, thank you so much. Cheryl, thank you. First and foremostly, for everybody that left a comment or reached out or sent a message about the passing of my Uncle Munchie. Uncle Munchie passed away on Wednesday. He went to become an ancestor. It's a very tough time. Uncle Munchie was a rock star in the family, and it's kind of crazy to think about. Everybody else is here and Munchie is not here. So it's a little nuts that way, but I appreciate the well wishes, the condolences, the support. It really means a lot. Thank you guys so much. And, maybe we'll talk about that a little bit more tonight on the AMA, which is popping tonight. Well, let's not say immediately after the show. Let's give myself about 15, 20 minutes after the show. And it's Ask Me Anything. So if you're already a patron, patreon.com/BIDWKB, go over there, leave me a question. Because the patrons get to ask their questions first. And then, well, actually, this is all Patreon. I'm sorry. Like, for now, the Ask Me Anythings are Patreon only. So I prefer to start off with questions asked on Patreon, and then we go to the questions in the chat. Hey, Will, do you know how to throw up the super chats on the screen, my guy? All you gotta do is click them jumps. Shout out to Humorous. What is this? Humorous. What is this? Humorous. Are you that 5%er that I have been praying about on Instagram? Humorous has just run us a very generous super chat It says, Kim, I saw you on Status Quo. You were so very awesome. I thought I needed to follow you on some of your other channels again. I found you seriously awesome, by the way. I can't fucking read. I'm sorry, humorous. I'm an old white man, but see, we appreciate that old white man energy money over here, humorous, especially if it's anti-racist and radical and John Brown Brigade. The old white man is allowed as long as he's checking off them boxes. Humorous, which you clearly are. So humorous says, I'm an old white man. So when you say that all white people are the same, they're not my son of color, that I love everybody. So humorous, thank you so much, first of all, for your generous super chat. Humorous has also signed up to become a patron. Thank you so much for that. And let me just put this out there for some of the people that are new to the channel. So I'm sorry, like, white people are gonna get dunked on. Burn it down with Kim Brown. But the thing is, humorous, the reason I don't preface my criticisms of white folks, white supremacy, white Americans specifically, is because it's here at Burn It Down with Kim Brown is sort of understood. Not all white people is something that doesn't need to be said, because we have the John Brown Brigade over here. And listen, our white supporters and our white comrades would tell you I talk shit about white people all the time, all the time. But the thing is, they know I'm not talking about them. Right? So if you hear me go in on white folks, chances are, humorous, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about them wayward whites. I'm talking about them racist whites. I'm talking about them fake ass liberal moderate whites that, oh, I don't see color whites. I'm talking about them whites, humorous. That needs to be understood. So thank you so much for your support and for making that clear. And let me just clear that up for you. So when I'm shitting on white people, which I will, which I absolutely will, if that ain't you, if it does not apply, let it fly, my guy. Very simple. And that also goes to men, since you also qualify the man category also. I will start dunking on men. I will randomly go on men are trash tangents. But chances are I'm not talking to you, right? No hit dog shall be hollering over in the Fire Fam chat, y'all. Not all men, not all white folks. It's something that I would like to be understood to everybody watching. But thank you so much for that, hubris. I appreciate that. All right, gang, let's get into this shit. Because y'all, man, Joe Biden done broke you off with basically about $25. Joe Biden said, you know what? I know you sitting on $60K or more of student loan debt. But here, I'm gonna make it so that you can save $25 a month in your future student loan payments. As we know, the president yesterday lied and said that he was fulfilling a campaign promise. We will get into that in just a moment, because nickel, you must not remember what the fuck you said, Joe Biden, because what you didn't say was 10,000. What you said was the whole shebang. But we'll get into that in just a moment. So let me take and there's a lot to unpack out of this announcement, because it really reveals the levels of class warfare that are just ongoing in America, that just do not stop. Well, we know the class warfare never stops, because the attacks on the poor are daily and unrelenting and very constant. But specifically when we talk about the ways in which college education is wielded like a bat to beat people over the head for at least the past, let's say, 2 generations, millennials, Gen X has absolutely been berated into going to college. Like, what you mean? You got to go to college so you can get a job. Jesus Christ. That's like, have we done the cost benefit analysis of this college education? Have we done that analysis on the situation, particularly for low income families, particularly for Black and brown families, right? For people who do not have legacy wealth, generational wealth to rely upon, college is an incredible financial undertaking, right? And it's the ways in which, especially Black and brown, lower income, lower middle class, have been encouraged, dare I say, bullied into bootstrapping themselves. Well, okay, your family doesn't come from money. They were not saving for your college education because, food because, rent. No, your parents could not put away money for fucking college because the rent was too goddamn high. And your parents were being underpaid, right? Not being paid commensurate to the amount of labor that they were putting out. So young aspiring people who want to be upwardly mobile undertake tens of thousands of dollars in student loans. If you're going for like a professional accreditation, you want to be a doctor, you want to be a lawyer, baby, 200K. That's what that's going to be. And I have to say, anyway, my student loan, once I was able to deep the fact that I had to pay Temple or start paying back my student loans 6 months after graduation. I got a job after graduation making $30,000 a year, and I was $40,000 in debt. I said, wait a second, this math, these are mathematics that are not adding the fuck up. What you talking about? Post grad? What master's degree? You must have fell and bumped your goddamn head. So I'm gonna be $80,000 in debt. Make it make fucking sense. I would have liked to pursue a master's degree, but I didn't have the fucking money, and I ain't had the smarts for a scholarship. So, bachelor. that's where the fuck we at. What's up, man? Oh, I'm sorry. My computer froze. Son of a bitch. Ah! Why, Jeebus? Give me a second. Hold on. I was about to start going in on everything. And then I started channeling my personal situation a little too deep. It wasn't paying attention. I don't know why this computer will go to sleep. And then when it goes to sleep, it does shit like this. And we back. Guess who's back? Still smelling yak on my clothes. Don't make me have to relapse on you hoes. Don't make me relapse. We good, Wilson? Hey, by the way, Will, I'm probably going to call you all kinds of variations of your name. It's going to be Will, Wilbert, Wilson, Willis. I'm going to call you all kinds of Wills. Thank you so much, sir. Anyway, apologize for that, Fire Fam. I started to black out a little bit. But anyway, let's check out y'all mans, y'all boys. Joseph Robinette Biden poking out his chest, acting like, hold on. This nigga acting like he really did something for us. And by the way, hold on. When I was researching yesterday's topic, hold on. What is happening? Humorous, you ran us some more bucks? Oh, jeez. I didn't mean to make you feel guilty. Okay, Humorous says, oh, honey, I know you're not talking about me. I just wanted to put it out there to everyone else that you're not talking directly at them. The people that need talking to, you're doing a damn good job of it. Thank you, Humorous. Okay, good. So everybody's on the same page. Everybody here, we're all on the same page now. I appreciate that, Humorous. Jeez Louise. See, more rich radical whites. Yeah, thank you. Do what Humorous did and give. and give to Black woman-led platforms. Give to Black people-led platforms. Give to Indigenous people-led platforms. Give to Asian Pacific Islander people, femmes, gay people, give it. We appreciate it. And it's not given, it's redistribution, but it is the Sailor Mem shows. Anywho, let's get it anyway. The show is already going off the rails very quickly, so I appreciate you guys being in here. Do me a favor, if you have not already, give me a thumbs up on the video so YouTube knows that y'all give a fuck about what's happening over here on BIDWKB. So, Wilbert, let's check out y'all mans, Joseph Robinette Biden, talking about the money that he promised us, but he is delivering way short on the original amount promised. Let's take a look.
Clause is going to end. It's going to end December 30. I'm extending to December 31st, 2022, and it's going to end at that time. It's time for the payments to resume. Second, my campaign for president, I made a commitment. That would provide student debt relief, and I'm honoring that commitment today. Using the authority Congress granted the Department of Education, we will forgive $10,000 in outstanding federal student loans. In addition, students who come from low-income families, which allowed them to qualify to receive a Pell Grant, will have their debt reduced $20,000. Both of these targeted actions are for families who need it the most. Working and middle-class people, hit especially hard during the pandemic, making under $125,000 a year. If you make more than that, you don't qualify. No high-income individual or high-income household on top of the 5%, in the top 5% of incomes, by the way, will benefit from this action, period. In fact, about 90% of the eligible beneficiaries make under $75,000 a family. Here's what that means. If you make under $125,000, you get $10,000 knocked off your student debt. If you make under $125,000 a year and you received a Pell Grant, you'll get an additional $10,000 knocked off that total, for a total of $20,000 relief. 95% of the borrowers can benefit from these actions. That's 43 million people.
Joe Biden there making his announcement from the White House about forgiving $10,000 worth of student loan debt if borrowers make less than $125,000 a year. And there's several things I want to get into. First of all, John Kemper, thank you so much for your super chat donation. John says, I ain't white and ain't got no $200, but I still love you, Kim. John, we love you back. Thank you so much for your generous donation. I appreciate all the support, y'all. Y'all know how I feel. Y'all could give $2, $200. I'm appreciative that you're here, period, for free, for free. But anyway, y'all know if you've attended college and if you've had to take out loans for college, or if you are putting a child through college, or if your parents perhaps are in middle to elderly age and still dealing with college debt, you guys know the ways in which college debt just hangs over you like a fucking albatross, right? And I know millennials, and especially younger millennials, are feeling this more. And I think Gen Zers, I think part of the reason we're seeing Gen Z get so radicalized is because Gen Z is peeping game early. Gen Z is peeping the scams at a very early age, and they're very mad about it because they're still being pushed into these scams. And Gen Z is like, wait a fucking second, wait a goddamn minute, we ain't doing this stupid shit. And me, like Gen X, like, yep, Gen Z, scam. It is nothing but a goddamn scam. Undergrad is the biggest fucking scam on earth. And if you have children aspiring to college, close their ears, because if you want them to go to school, don't listen to me. And it's not that I'm against education, not at all, or against higher education. Number one, it's a classist institution. Most people, especially those who are even first or even second generation college students, struggle mightily, not just so much with the academics. It's not that. It's not a matter of not being able to compete. It's the ways in which you experience poverty while you're at school, that perhaps your non-poor classmates don't, right? I mean, we know that college students work hard generally, and then they are forced into either low-paying part-time jobs on campus, which are usually minimum wage or just barely above minimum wage. And they're not able to basically take care of their needs, take care of their food, put gas in their car if they have a car, or do any fucking thing, right? I think young people, first of all, I think people across all ages should be able to enjoy themselves and enjoy life. But the life enjoyment, the joie de vivre, hits a little different in your 20s, right? Because you're like, yeah, I'm fearless, woo, nothing can happen, woo. But you just out there living life. Is that Franny France? Is that my Franny? Franny Rana, some bucks. Thank you so much, dearest. Yes, Franny France says from, I can't even fucking read these days, from Franny France of the John Brown Brigade. Franny, I think you are Chief Lieutenant of the John Brown Brigade. I think you and Dawn and Anna Hart and several others. David Silberg. We got a lot of John Brown Brigaders. When we talk about college education, it's so much pressure on poor kids to succeed. And then when they come out, they are hampered with all this tens of thousands of dollars worth of debt. And this is not a little bit of debt. This is debt that takes up 10% of your check, 20% of your check, 30% of your paycheck. And as we're looking at inflation right now with the skyrocketing price of rent, gasolina, fucking comida, the food, everything costs. So I know everyone who has been enjoying basically this pause on student loan debt has been able to do other things with their life. They've actually been able to save money. They've been able to pay down other debts. They've been able to perhaps make a purchase of a home or of a car. I mean, student loan debts have been paused, since April of 2020? And Biden just announced that they're going to be unpaused December 31st, 2022. You just could have made it a permanent pause, sir. You could have written off all of the $1.7 trillion of student debt that Americans are dealing with. America prints fucking money, okay? America comes up with trillions of dollars to bail out banks, to bail out the housing industry, to bail out the airlines, to keep the military afloat. And I say afloat tongue in cheek. The money can be applied in any way in which they so desire. They do not desire to help people. And this pittance of a $10,000 loan forgiveness, student loan forgiveness, is a perfect example of that. That ain't shit. And most importantly, Joe Biden, that's not what the fuck you promised, dog. And I was going back yesterday looking at some of those Georgia Senate rallies when Ossoff and Warnock were in that critical race. I guess this was January 2021. And Joe Biden, number one, the big thing that I noticed that he was selling at this particular rally was $2,000 stimulus. He didn't stutter that time. He said $2,000 several times, and he said it straight away. And he said it was very important to get Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff elected to the Senate so those $2,000 checks could get out right away. You got your $2,000 check? Anybody? Oh, okay, that's what I thought. Fucking lying piece of shit. Anyway, so check this out. Listen, let me go to Atlanta, 11 Alive News. I'm very grateful and appreciative. Well, maybe grateful is overstating it a tiny bit. I'm glad. Let's say I'm glad when local news actually does some good reporting, some good journalism. And even though this was not super hard to put together, my mans did a good job of putting it together in roughly 2 minutes. So I wanted to take a look at 11 Alive News in Atlanta, their Verify segment. This is something they posted 3 months ago about student loan forgiveness and promises that Joe Biden made on the campaign trail before he became president. Let's take a look.
President Biden is considering plans to forgive some student loan debt, but some activists say the proposals he's looking at now don't measure up to the promises he made on the campaign trail. One viral tweet reads, quote, Biden ran on canceling all your federal student debt if you went to an HBCU or public college and make under $125,000. Let's verify. When he was running for president, did Joe Biden propose forgiving all federal student debt for borrowers who attended public or historically Black colleges and have annual incomes below $125,000? Our sources, a post on Medium by then candidate Biden, the Democratic Party, and video from a town hall held in Miami a month before the election. In April of 2020, Biden wrote a blog post about his ideas for helping out folks struggling in the pandemic economy. One of those ideas, quote, I propose to forgive all undergraduate tuition-related federal student debt from 2- and 4-year public colleges for debt holders earning up to $125,000. He said this would also apply to HBCUs and MSIs, minority-serving institutions. The same language appeared in the official Democratic Party platform, which was approved at the 2020 Democratic National Convention. And then, during an NBC town hall in October of 2020, Biden referenced a version of the same plan when answering a question about the economic obstacles facing young people.
That's why I'm going to eliminate a lot of your student debt if you, in fact, if you come from a family less than 125 grand and you went to a public university.
So we can verify, yes. When he was running for president, Joe Biden proposed forgiving all federal student debt for borrowers who attended public or historically Black colleges and have annual incomes below $125,000.
So Joe Biden is lying. Joe Biden has ran a game on us once again. Well, let me not say us, because I know nobody in this room is going for Joe Biden's bullshit, but has ran game again on Democratic voters. And I get it, y'all. It sounded really fucking good, right? That coupled with $2,000 stimulus. Yes, motherfucker, do those things. Do that shit. Joe Biden is determined to be the best Republican president that this nation has seen probably since Dwight D. Eisenhower. And I don't mean that favorably nor complimentarily. Sir, you are out here governing like fucking Reagan, okay? $10,000 is not what was promised. $10,000 is not acceptable. And for those who are celebrating, I really feel bad for them, because it's like, why don't you like nice things? Why is it that you think that you only deserve crumbs and you only deserve a pittance relative to the experience and the traumas that America has subjected us to? Fuck that. Like, other people around the world get nice things. How come we can't have nice fucking things? Free education to me is not an exorbitant demand. Really, that should be standard operating procedure. You should want your population, your citizenry, to be educated, so that way we can advance society and humanity in a very progressive manner to make life more equitable for all. But not not under capitalism. Capitalism don't give a fuck. Capitalism needs wage slaves and landlords and fiefdoms and kingdoms and lordships and princes and all the same sort of medieval titles and social structure of 1,000 years ago. Capitalism wants that shit to remain in place. And guess what, y'all? We are the wage slaves. We are not the lords and the ladies and the landlords. No, that ain't us. We are the workers. We are the ones whose labor gets exploited. And we are the ones who are saddled with tens of thousands of dollars at minimum of collegiate student loan debt in efforts to simply improve our lives. But one of the, so that's a scam. Well, for one, college scam, undergrad scam, taking out loans to pay for school is a fucking scam. It's not uniquely American, but in the ways that that system plays out in this country, it's really abhorrent. And we're talking about $1.7 trillion worth of student loan debt. When the banks were bailed out, guys, we're going to take a look at that in just a couple of moments, because I wanted to go back. I said, well, wait a second. All these people, all these conservatives, all these Republicans, and all of these middle class people who hate other middle class people, who hate poor people, who hate the working poor, talking all this shit, talk about, well, I worked 2 and 3 jobs, so I didn't have to take out loans to get through school. And how come all these people get off easy? We'll get into that in just a momento. Hold on. Next place that we're going. Actually, pop up that tweet, if you could, for me, Will. The tweet from Representative Jim Banks from Indiana. Because Jim Banks said the quiet part out loud. And I was quite happy to actually see Congressperson Banks say such a thing. So Jim Banks, who is a Republican from Indiana, Shirley, student loan forgiveness undermines one of our military's greatest recruitment tools at a time of dangerously low enlistment. And I want to thank Congressman Banks for making that crystal clear for everybody. You know, part of the reason why college is so financially out of reach for people, well, number one, because private institutions and public universities began exponentially raising their tuition rates starting in the 1980s. Because at the end of the day, they saw the writing on the wall. They saw the Civil Rights Act and Civil Rights Movement and all that shit playing out. Title IX was playing out. We can't have all these non-whites and women in school getting educated. The fuck? Let's make this shit out of reach for them. So the only way they can get there is if they are assuming a significant debt. And the military is a big way to sell to Americans. You want to go to college? All you have to do is give up 6 years of your life. And it's no big deal. We'll send you to Korea. Maybe we'll send you to Japan, Hawaii. Oh. But you never know when the United States is going to be engaged in some militaristic, spreading democracy adventure that could result in thousands of U.S. military lives lost, in the hundreds of thousands and possibly millions of civilian lives lost, wherever this latest democracy field trip is going to be. And they know that. They know that. So they are perfectly okay with you delaying buying a house, right? Or you delaying your family. Well, if you want to go to college, it's really easy. Just sign up for the military. You won't have to pay anything. That doesn't sound like a fair trade. That does not sound like a fair trade. And I like that Congressman Banks pointed out that the military is experiencing record low enrollment for a fucking reason. You've got a generation of young people, let's see where we are, 2022. So 18-year-olds were born in 2004, right? What was on and popping in 2004? Their whole life, America has been engaged in military fuck shit, occupying of other countries, regime change everywhere. Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, so many places you can't even count them, right? And places that most Americans are not even aware some shit actually happened that America had something to do with. And the kids are peep game. The kids understand that they're not going abroad for that, okay? And if you're trying to pressure them as, using the GI Bill as something for them to pay for college, guess what? The kids said, we're not going to fucking college. The kids said, how about this? How about we don't go to college? How about we go to trade school? How about we learn how to do some other shit? And I said, right on, kids, do all them things. But in the meantime, the parents of the kids, the grandparents of the kids are stuck dealing with these just lifetime of educational debt. And what does that do to people's psyche? What does that do to the way in which they can even foresee for themselves a trajectory in the direction of their life? It is a burden in the worst way. It's not an inconvenience. It's a fucking burden on their lives. And Joe Biden promised, come out and vote for me. You went to a HBCU, you assumed student loan debt, or if you went to a public university, you got student loan debt. You make less than $125,000 a year, which, by the way, most college graduates do make under $125,000. I've seen a lot of those people on the right, just the most snarkiest, condescending shit. Like, oh, well, I don't see why I should be paying for an art history major, blah, blah, blah. Well, let's talk about some shit that you do pay for there, Jack. You don't want to pay for the art history major bachelor's degree. Let's talk about some shit that you pay for all of the fucking time. You pay for the bailing out of big banks. You pay for the U.S. military to the tune of nearly $1 trillion a year. I mean, what was the budget passed and approved for this last military budget? It was north of $700 billion, was it not? What else do you pay for? You pay for hundreds of millions and now likely billions of dollars being sent to Ukraine to pay for Ukrainian seniors' pensions. That's the shit you do pay for. So you don't want to help out your neighbor who may be crushed by student loan debt, who may not be able to eat properly after they have paid their student loans at the end of the month. But let's circle back to the shit that America does pay for and doesn't blink a fucking eye about. And all the politicians do is go, oh, well, yeah, you're right. Yeah, that it shouldn't be that way. But what you gonna do? Let me take y'all back to Obama, y'all's boy. And I know Obama ran game. That's another fucking scam. Obama ran the finesse. Can you niggas say finesse? And let me shout out to Glenn Ford and Jared Ball and Margaret Kimberly and all the people that was not fooled by Obama at the onset. I was fooled. I will admit to being fooled. I went and knocked on doors for Obama. Oh my God, the clownery. the levels of fucking clownery. Oh my God. How could I have been so naive? like a wee babe. Just like a little doe. Just, oh my God. His name is Barack. I'm sorry. Take a look at what this bitch ass nigga Obama was talking about. I think this was 2010. I didn't write the date down because I'm a dork, but this is CBS News, and this is very shortly after the Obama administration approved the bank rescue bailout funds for all the banks that had bankrupted so many homeowners, most of them black and brown. Just bad times. 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011. Just bad times. Anyway, let's check this piece out from CBS News. I don't think we have any sound, Will. There's no sound. There's no sound, my honey. Yeah, Craig, rack that jump. Take that joint from the top. Wheel up the track selector. Let me read off some of these. What you got there? Hold on. Humorist also says channels like this and Status Quo, real progressives, is so freeing. It's so freaking important for us to believe in all these people and support them. Thank you in any way that we can to get back on track in America. Humorist, I need to know the year, month, and day in which America was on track. I need to know. I need to know, baby. When was it? Because I don't think I've lived through it. So Will's fixing the clip. But I think you guys could see some of the numbers that were being flashed up there. Yes. Oh my fucking God. Wait till y'all hear how additionally retrospectively crazy Obama's about to sound when y'all hear this shit. When y'all hear Obama and Timothy Geithner, you know what I'm saying, sit up there and finger wag the executives at these banks for spending America's taxpayer dollars to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars and billions of dollars on fucking themselves, on executive bonuses, on corporate jets. Yes, this is all shit that Americans pay for all the time. This is all shit that Americans pay for, and nobody fucking asks us, is this some shit you want to pay for? Never. What did I see on Twitter? I think it was an Australian national had a breakdown of their tax bill, and apparently Australia itemizes their citizens' tax bills to let them know what their shit was spent on. Now, Australia ain't shit either. Let's be very fucking clear about that. But I appreciate the attempt at transparency. Perhaps I'm going to assume it was transparency. I'm not exactly sure here. But so, well, shoot me a text, honey, when you're ready to run that. Because I need everybody to laugh and be angry. like I. What is the other thing? Okay. It's all good. Okay, so let's check out the CBS package from Obama after the bank bailout and after it was discovered that the banks was just with the taxpayer money. Check it out. Play the clip, honey. We'll wait for Will to get that up and popping. The other part about this whole guilting and shaming of people who would be in line to get their student loan debt forgiven. I'm sorry, my phone fell on the floor. I got my phone on the floor. Sorry. Okay. So we're going to have to skip that clip, but let's see. Where was I? My bad, everybody. Let me get myself back on track. Anyway, while I'm trying to focus myself again, do me a favor, hit like on the video. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead, hit subscribe. It'd be lovely. Don't let people who may have tried to kill themselves to go to college, who worked 3 and 4 jobs, who never saw their families, who just were experiencing a very miserable time going to college. Don't let them people try to guilt those who may be in line for receiving this assistance, right? And it's a pittance. Let's be fucking clear. Over the life of a student loan of tens of thousands of dollars, just knocking $10,000 off of a $50,000 or greater student loan debt is what? I said $25 at the beginning of the show, and I was kind of being facetious because, you know, I'm not strong at maths. I don't know the maths, but I know that 10 stacks over the life of a, let's say, 25-year loan, maybe 30-year loan, over a balance of 50 or 60,000, not including interest, knocking $10,000 off of that it's not giving you much relief every month at all. Not at all. And just a quick bit of advice. I saw this online as well. If you had made any payments during the federal student loan pause, you should be requesting your money back from the Department of Education, because the federal government was not owed any of that money during that time period, and that's your money and you're entitled to it. So be considerate of that in case, you know, you were trying to be a good Christian and pay your fucking student loan when the government said that you didn't have to. Let me move along here. Maybe I'll play that Obama clip for y'all next week, because again, it's a beaut. It's a beaut because it's just a reminder of the levels of game that because Obama was a whole op for us, on us, ran against us, right? And he was effective as shit. And you want to talk about how a person's legacy goes from grand opening to grand closing, just like that. I think Obama's legacy is out the window. I think the jig is up on Obama in the ways, again, that his blackness and the ways that representation politics specifically were weaponized against black voters. And, you know, Joe Biden tried it. He tried it. He said, if you are not black if you don't vote for me. And nigga said, okay. I said, wait a second, what? It's a what? And Biden has come up here midway through his first term, only 2 years into his first term, and has told big lies. Lied about the $2,000 stimulus, lied about this student loan debt, and of course lied about many other things. But when it comes to stuff that actually directly impact, lied about free community college, lied about so much, lied about the actions that he was going to do to help exacerbate climate change, lied about America's well, no, he never lied about divesting from fossil fuels, because, you know, Joe said he's all for fracking. He's all for oil drilling. He has approved new oil exploration permits in the Gulf of Mexico, permits that, you know, are forever, that are in perpetuity. So Joe Biden has been very consistent in his moderate Democratic approach, which is basically Republican. And that's exactly what he's doing. So, and many are saying that this student loan forgiveness is a ploy to get votes in the midterm. And of course it is. Duh. This is what politicians do. And the thing is, Democrats do it so seldomly. This is an opportunity for political opponents to be like, see, look what the Democrats are doing for their voters. Da, da, da. And it's like, well, Donald Trump and all of his predecessors, Republican and Democrat, but we'll play along real quick with the D versus R. Donald Trump gave $2 trillion away in tax cuts to the wealthy, to himself and to his fellow top 3%ers, right? And it was accepted by the Republicans, by the conservative base, even by poor white folks, right? Because they just accept that that's what politicians do. That is how politics work. You have to give carrots to your supporters, right? And those are Donald Trump supporters. And Joe Biden wants to try to shore up Americans making under $75,000 as his supporters. But I don't think that that's something that we need to be engaging in. I don't think that's additional shit that we need to participate, because Biden has proven demonstrably that he is a liar. He is not here to hold any of the shit that he has indicated that we as his supporters, I'm going to say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, am I speaking French? Oui? No, my bad, non. Oh zut, il neige chic, allons-y dans la jardin. No, so no, not we, not we. I must have been speaking French, my bad. that his Democratic base would be supporting. Anyway, let me move along, guys. Do me a favor, hit like, hit subscribe, follow us places around the internet at BIDWKB. Thank you so much to Northern Witch for modding for us over on Twitch. We are also at BIDWKB on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. The other thing that I wanted to get into tonight. This caught my eye, and I wanted to get into it, right? So this is kind of two stories in one. So I noticed, and I don't know how much national coverage this got, if at all, but I saw some people tweeting about how very quickly transgender Floridians who receive Medicaid are no longer on the rolls. Governor Ron DeSantis, in his attacks on LGBTQ folks, on Black folks, Black voting rights, on formerly incarcerated people who had their voting rights restored, and because of some higgy haga from DeSantis, have now been charged with voter fraud. Thank you, Courtney, for showing me that story. You know, this thing that DeSantis has done to transgender people in Florida is really fucked up, okay? And I want us to take a look, if we could. This package is maybe at the beginning of August. This is from WPLG Local 10 News. And I want you guys to really kind of deep the ways in which trans people are being denied personhood. Like, they are literally being denied their actual humanity, their right to exist on earth, right? And the ways that they are being demonized as groomers, right? And I think it's really rich for these white Christian evangelicals to have the audacity to try to smear trans people as groomers, when evangelicals are themselves the biggest fucking groomers. And what we mean by groomers, I'm imagining they mean trying to encourage and or manipulate or influence minors under the age of 18 to a particular lifestyle. And guess what? Heterosexuality is a lifestyle. and if there are adults who are trying to influence children into sexual acts, children meaning those under 18, yeah, like I said, white evangelical Christians, the biggest fucking groomers out here. But getting back to the original story, let's take a look at this package from WPLG Local 10 about the cruel and inhumane way that Ron DeSantis has removed healthcare away from trans people who are on Medicare. Let's take a look. There's no sound, Will. I don't hear anything. Okie dokie. So, Will, I'm guessing there's a button over there that you're not pushing, my guy, because we got that first couple clips clear as a bell. So, what's going on with DeSantis? Well, if we could try to get that together, that would be awesome, because I would really like to play that package. That would really be awesome. Yeah. Yep. Uh-huh. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Anyway. So DeSantis has removed trans people from receiving health care. And as the subject, the first person that you saw in that package, unfortunately you could not hear the person. But the first person that you saw is a trans woman who is living with HIV. And now she doesn't have access to her HIV medication, right? And she talked about how trans people are the most likely in our society to be experiencing rates of homelessness and are very, very likely to engage in self-harm and commit suicide as a result of the way that society treats them. It makes them feel as though they aren't people, as though they are less than. And when you have very powerful people and influential people like Ron DeSantis and the rest of these bitch ass niggas that are targeting them specifically, I am actually very concerned about the mental health states for our trans siblings, because I mean, literally, they are under attack across the country. And again, I've said this on here before, and maybe it's apples and oranges, but this is what kind of pisses me off about Chappelle. Like, I know Chappelle is not a politician. I know Chappelle does not wield any real political power. But the ways in which Chappelle has contributed to the anti-trans movement across the country, I don't think it can't be ignored. Like, those two things, they may be coincidental. Like, Dave Chappelle may have put out a Netflix special talking about trans folks, and folks will argue, well, he was talking specifically about white trans folks. Well, maybe he was, but I mean, his supporters, I don't think, took it that way. I think they took it as a green light, to attack trans people across the racial spectrum, right? Hey, what's all this happening here? Y'all have dropped a lot of comments and stuff. Jose, thank you, Mr. Perez. We appreciate that, Jose. Thank you again, humorous. Oh, wait, what'd you say? I have one question. Please answer honestly. What is the one thing you want most to change for the betterment of all people right in this moment for America? I need white people to wake the fuck up. I need for white supremacy to go away, to go and throw itself into the ocean right now. Because I think once you subtract racism or capitalism, if white supremacy and capitalism could hold hands while they are swan diving off the bridge into the ocean, that would be beautiful. I would be very happy about that, because I think a lot of the problems and oppression that marginalized people experience would be ameliorated immediately if white supremacy and capitalism were to go away. Hope that answered your question, humorous. So, Will, what we looking like? Can I play the package, or can we not play the package? Cause okie dokie. Okay, well, go ahead and play it whenever you're ready. just go ahead and hit play. Joyce, just go ahead and do it. Nope. It's cool. We'll try to figure this out later. All right, gang. So do me a favor, hit like, hit subscribe. So where was I? I'm sorry. I'm very distracted. So there's fuck. I don't even know where I was. Sorry. Keep forgetting there's people here. Let me tighten the fuck up. So as trans people are being attacked across the country politically and, in real life, and being smeared as groomers, and you see all these fucking bitch boys like Matt Walsh and all these fucking little assholes talking about, oh, trans people groomers, oh, they're targeting our children, they're coming for our children. Y'all don't really pay attention as to who the real child molesters and abusers of children are, do y'all? Because if you did, you would know. It is not the trans folks. So, Will, can we get that article, the Houston Chronicle? There was a piece that came out in the Chronicle yesterday. Okay, and the headline reads, "Former Texas right to life actor charged with soliciting sex from minor." There we go. Yes. Luke Bowen, who until recently was a political director of the anti-abortion group Texas Right to Life, was arrested in Conroe earlier this month for soliciting a minor. You don't say. Now, gang, it doesn't get more right-wing than the right to life. Isn't that the people that are denying pregnant people access to reproductive care and abortion access? Isn't that them? Where Texas's more abortion laws, I think, took effect this week. Let's see what Luke was doing. Lucas Bowen, the former political director for Texas Right to Life, a prominent organization in the state's anti-abortion movement, was charged with soliciting sex from a minor earlier this month, according to the Montgomery County criminal records. Lucas. Not Lucas. No, not Lucas. Bowen was arrested and charged on August 3rd in Conroe, Texas, about 40 miles north of Houston. He stands accused of soliciting sex from a minor online, a second-degree felony in Texas that can result in up to 20 years in prison. Come on now. We know they don't put sex offenders in jail like that. And a $10,000 fine. Court records show that Bowen, who resides in Montgomery County, pleaded not guilty on the solicitation charge on August 18th and will appear before the court again on September 22nd. Montgomery County First Assistant District Attorney Mike Holly said that Bowen's arrest was from the result of a sting conducted as part of the Internet Crimes Against Children, the ICAC Task Force program. The ICAC bills itself as a, quote, national network of 61 coordinated task forces representing over 5,400 federal, state, and local law enforcement, which helps to train local agents to run these types of stings. Hold on, let me process that for a second. Over 5,400 state, federal, and local law enforcement officials that run these sting operations. Sounds like to me there should be way more sex offenders in jail if you've got a team of over 5,000 police officers on this shit, yeah? So besides being a leader in the anti-abortion movement, Texas Right to Life has poured heaps of cash into the coffers of Republican candidates representing the GOP's most conservative flank, which in some cases builds its brand around vilifying LGBTQ plus people as pedophiles and, quote, groomers. Ha! Come on, Texas. Come on, Houston Chronicle. Bring it home. Bowen's arrest happened, quote, on the scene, Holly said Thursday, meaning that Bowen exchanges with officers posing as children constituted sufficient probable cause to arrest him without obtaining a warrant. Bowen's defense attorney, E. Tay Bond, did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Kim Schwartz, who is the Texas Right to Life's director of media and communications, said in an email that, quote, Luke Bowen's employment was terminated on August 3rd, but did not provide further details about the case. Groomers, the real groomers. And looking a little deeper about, the grooming coming from the evangelical right, which, by the way, That's all. I mean, that's really what all of this is about. I think part of the reason they want to dehumanize and deny personhood of trans people is because they feel as though that perhaps, I don't fucking know what they feel, man. I'm like, is it because you think that they can't have babies? Like, if they could prove, if trans folks could demonstrably prove to the evangelical right that they are bringing children into the world, would that soften their stance? I don't think so. I mean, this is just an extension of fucking white supremacy colonialism because if, ambiguous gender is not a new thing in the course of human history, okay? It's only when fucking European colonizers got to different corners of the world that they basically tried to beat the gay and beat the trans out of people. And they haven't stopped doing that, right? But the ways in which trans is vilified in 2022, even more so than it was back in the 20th century, like I felt as though there was a lot more favorable stories of people having gender reassignment surgery and gender affirming surgeries in the ways that we don't see condemned like they are now, okay? And to blame trans people for the abuse, the sexual abuse of children specifically, is really missing the bigger picture. The bigger picture is that children are more likely to be abused by heterosexual people, period, point blank. That's it. That's the tweet. Send it, post it. And for this particular man, Luke Bowen, political director for Texas Right to Life, can you imagine the amount of money that specific organization is sitting on, right? Shit tons of money, piles of money. How long Luke been soliciting sex from kids online? You think this was Luke's first time? You think this was Luke's first go round trying to get him some underage strange online? I don't think so. No, it wasn't. Infinite Content, what's up? Infinite Content says in the super chat, now would be a good time to remind the chat that the Southern Baptist Convention is being investigated. Oh, I remember that. For ex abuse amongst its ranks. That was out of Texas too, wasn't it, Infinite Content? That was absolutely out of Texas. Don't, please, y'all, do not allow your communities or your circles to ever start regurgitating right-wing talking points when it comes to LGBTQ plus people, okay? Nobody, first of all, when motherfuckers start talking about, well, I don't agree with the gay and I don't agree with trans, nobody give a fuck what the fuck you agree with. Nobody asks you that. Don't these people have a right to walk this earth in peace just like you? Well, then that's the answer. I don't give a fuck what you agree with, bitch. Agree with that. Start by agreeing with that. Start by agreeing that people who are engaged in consensual relationships with other adults need to be left the fuck alone. And niggas don't need to worry about what goes where when motherfuckers is in bed. You worried about the wrong things. You worried about the wrong things. Worry about yourself. Worry about what goes where with yourself, okay? And consenting people in your life. Don't worry about what the trans man or trans woman is doing. It's not your goddamn business, okay? But guess what? They are people. They are our neighbors. They are our brothers and sisters and non-binaries. They need to be accessing healthcare, gender reaffirming surgeries, hormone replacement, all of that shit. Give it all to them, because at the end of the day, it is important for all of us to be mentally healthy. And when trans people and LGBTQ folks are denied the healthcare resources they need to feel their most authentic selves, that is mentally harmful for them. And they are more likely to harm themselves, which by extension harms their families, which by extension harms their communities. I'm sorry, I don't feel safer or like I live in a more Puritan society if trans people are disappeared. Like, what the fuck? Like, I would love for them to just be able to be themselves. I love to see, first of all, I love to see trans women, especially black trans women, especially because they are coming with the spice all the time. Maybe not all the time. Maybe I'm generalizing here. But I love gay people because gay people have a wonderful energy about them. And it's I can't am I doing jazz hands? That's not my intention. But I can't quite put my finger on it. But I like it. I don't know what it is, but I like it. So anyway, leave gay people the fuck alone. That's my period. That's my point. Period, point blank. And the real groomers are the goddamn white Christian evangelicals in church, plotting on your daughters, trying to knock up your 14-year-old in an abortion restrictive state so she is not legally allowed to get an abortion, despite the fact that she was raped by a Christian evangelical who was counting on that fact, right? And the state of Tennessee, just a few short months ago, they were trying to amend their marriage statute, which I think they were successful in doing, but they had to come and tighten it back up. So Tennessee was trying to put on the books that marriage is only between one man and one woman. All right, whatever y'all say. But on the slick, the Republican legislator who proposed this revision to the marriage statute failed to include an age limit in the statute. So basically, it was no limit. You could get married at any age. And then it got a lot of national pushback, and then they had to put it back in that you had to be at least 18 years of age to get married in the state of Tennessee. But the goal is to be able to have teen brides who cannot object to abortions, who are not legally permitted to have abortions. And the end result here is to have total domination over the bodies of girls and women. Okay. And to blame that or to try to distract from that specific fact that somehow trans people are the real enemies of children. Trans people are the ones out here sexually plotting on your kids. Nope. Is Luke. It's fucking Luke. Is Luke and the rest of them from Right to Life, from Focus on the Family, all of them. They are focused on your daughters. They are focused on your underage teens, and they don't want her to have abortions. And I hate it here. And please, foreign husband, where the fuck are you? So anyway, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up because we do have our AMA coming up right now. Hold on. Hello, Anna Hart. Anna Hart says, additionally, support sesh this Sunday. Sunday? What's that? Oh, an additional support session. Okay, come on, Anna Hart. So this is for the disability support chat. If you guys are not aware, the Fire Fam, we are Crip Nation over here. I'm being facetious, but disabled people, we can kind of use some terms and amongst each other. We got some cripples over here. Myself, I too. Let me put my hand up right here. So we do a disability support chat every second Monday, and it's open to all, but we don't put it on the channel. We have it closed, but if you're interested in participating, all you have to do is hit up me or Anna Hart, and Anna, and we will get you the link that you need to do that. But Anna says that there is an additional support sesh this Sunday at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, and 8 p.m. London time, 9 p.m. German time. The link is on the Discord channel. We have a Discord. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Anna, for that. Thank you so much for that reminder and that notification. So, anyway, let me see where I'm at Sunday, because I might come through. We had a lot of shit going on. But anyway, so let me hop off here because we have the AMA coming up. If the time is now 8:09, shit. Let me be safe. Let's say 8:30. Let's say 8:30. So let's come back at 8:30. Patrons, the link will be on Patreon to join. If you want to join and you're not a patron, so sorry. So sorry. And not this time. It will not be this time. But we are going to actually start doing memberships on this channel. So content that is available for the patrons will soon be available for members of the channel, which I don't think we have any, because we haven't really done anything with the memberships, but that's about to change. We're about to present some brand new content for you guys, some Kim's lost tapes of, when I was interviewing people and making them uncomfortable and all that. So anyway, guys, I appreciate the sort of herky-jerky nature of today's show, and I thank you all so much for tuning in. Patrons, I will see you on the Patreon at 8:30 30. On behalf of Will and Molly, we want to thank you all for tuning in to Burn It Down with Kim Brown today. Please do not forget, COVID is still absolutely out here jumping on people. One of my homeboys' parents, mother and father and grandmother, have COVID right now. Okay. And it's not fun for them. And COVID is definitely still out here jumping on people. Apparently, so is the monkeypox and polio. So we've got a nice little congregation of communicable viruses and diseases floating through the population. So please do what you can to protect yourself and your family. Fire family, love you guys to pieces. See y'all back here on Tuesday. See y'all later. Bye bye.